temperature is below freezing point, so I hope that the sea won't freeze over before I return home in my kayak. I chose to build my shelter close to the beach, so I'm starting by picking up rocks and creating a stone wall as the foundation for my survival hut. There is more wind at the shore, however, I have access to more materials such as these stones, and to be honest, I prefer the open view of the beach and the sound of the waves while I'm relaxing in my sleeping bag. Inside the forest of this island, there would be less wind, however, but this is more beautiful, maybe harsh. If I wanted to choose complete comfort, I would have stayed home in the warmth of my cabin, wouldn't I? After the wind-blocking stone wall is somewhat complete, I try to do my best using dead wood I find nearby my campsite to build a roof structure. In the forest here, it is almost completely silent. There is barely any trace or sound of animals, just a deep peace of mind. In my humble opinion, going out to the wilderness like this is the only therapy a modern man needs to find clarity. We can get back to the core of what life is all about and bring that wisdom into our normal lives. When walking further into the forest of this island, I was lucky to find an entire fallen tree, which still has almost fresh branches. This is good material for creating a snow and windproof roof. And I do not need to harm as many living trees in this way. Now after a couple hours of work, the shelter is about good enough for the first night. I'll rest a moment on my sheepskin, which I have simply laid on dry twigs and branches. It's almost warm enough on its own. Now it's time to set up the campfire with stones from the shoreline. When going out camping in the winter, I usually bring a couple of small and dry logs so I can get the fire going easily. Sometimes the wood of the winter forest is completely wet, and you will not have a good time igniting your fire. My main source of nutrition for today is beef. I'm lightly cooking it on the stone and enjoying it salted and nearly raw, having some honey, dried fruit, and cheese on the side. Day 2. It's a beautiful, bleak morning, and the curious little birds are singing above my campsite. There was moderate snowfall throughout the night, and now it's time to improve my shelter, to have complete protection of snowfall and wind. I'm heading out to the other side of the island to look for thicker logs and branches of fallen or dead trees to create a door frame and wall. Here you can see I'm wearing this simple wool cloak to stay warmer, as I do not have any jacket with me, just natural wool. If you're wondering how it's made, it's surprisingly simple. The cloak is made of a wool blanket onto which I simply sewed the hood on. I used a small stick to pin the cloak and also sewed the blue cotton fabric on top to make it more wind resistant. It's pretty warm and also functions as a mattress for the night when I fold it into 3 layers of wool underneath me. As I'm building the top part of the door frame, it is important to note that you can use naturally occurring notches and branches of your logs to attach them to each other, as I'm doing here. previous night was colder than I expected. To improve the insulation of my sleeping setup, I will need to have more dry branches underneath me. Did you know that in an emergency situation, you would actually make a warm enough mattress if you stacked a lot of dry branches underneath you? You wouldn't need anything else. Of course, a blanket on top of it, but underneath you, this would be sufficient. Take a look at the beauty and pureness of the winter season. Hear the waves and the wind. There's not a soul out there, and all of this is mine to enjoy. It seems like the wind is picking up for the evening. It's also feeling significantly colder. I'm setting up a large fire to warm up, and I also have to do an extreme challenge I promised myself. I must go swimming in the absolute freezing sea. Let's go. Let's prove ourselves that we still have the spirit of overcoming within us. Let us never be weak in our minds. In this windy evening, the temperature is around -3 Celsius or 26 degrees Fahrenheit. However, it effectively feels like -12 Celsius or 10 Fahrenheit in this harder wind. Inside the shelter, it's luckily entirely wind-free, warm inside the sleeping bag. Day 3 in the morning. I slept very well this night, feeling cozy and safe inside my hut, while on the outside I heard raging winds and waves crashing on the shoreline rocks and the snow falling down on the roof of my shelter. I rarely sleep this well at home for some reason. My provisions are running low. I'll settle for a can of tuna and some eggs for breakfast. looking out to the sea and worry a bit about the wind and waves, thinking about the kayaking trip back home. Although the season is rough, I prefer still water to be more safe. If I for some reason tip over in a moment of less focus, the odds of making it back to the shore alive are very slim. I guess it's part of the adventure. Before heading out to the sea, I'll warm up one last time and leave some extra firewood for the next visitor of this camp. It is now time to face the frozen sea and paddle back home for about 1 hour, which feels very long in these conditions. The legs and fingertips get really cold by sitting still and potentially getting my hands wet while on the journey. I'm glad you enjoyed this adventure. Make sure